Let us make a...
A short-range transmission just came in from Zeb. Sounded urgent. He's requesting we meet him at the tomb of the matriarch, here on Praetor. It's where the matriarch and first sovereign are buried, supposedly. Zeb left out the mission parameters, probably worried his message might be intercepted. Not unfounded, given the protectorate presence on Praetor. He did say he'd reach out to us again if he needed help. Reckon we should take it as a compliment. Zeb doesn't trust easy. Anyway, I'd really like to go, if there's time. Much obliged. The sooner we can rendezvous at the tomb, the better. Got the sense that whatever's going down, it's happening now.
Observe that formidable structure in the distance. I hope the device we are after remains within.
Protectorate control of Praetor has largely been achieved through the maintenance of a blockade. A survey of Praetor indicates there may be an alternate route past the blockade via the Automech factory.
Don't like the way you're glaring at me, Rao. You got a problem?
Earlier, I noted my sapling to be wilting the barest amount. Your last speech regarding it was unkind, suspicious.
Sure, I'm glad you think I got the power to render a plant sickly with a whispered word. But it ain't suspicious. The dry ship air is getting to it. You know, giving it a few minutes with my humidifier could do it some good. But hell, don't take my word for it.
I knew that. I was merely testing your understanding of botany. Though I would never ask for your help. Perhaps I could make an exception this once. For my plant.
Exactly. For your plant. Ain't a favor for you, all right?
Interrupted. Electrical dampeners failing.
I suspect the local fauna has correctly identified us as a threat. Stand ready, Commander.
For all your talk about following Protectorate law to the letter, aren't you committing a spot of treason right now? Traveling with an Earth Directorate agent and an enemy soldier?
As an arbiter, I am permitted to pursue justice however I see fit. Traveling beside the commander and yourself serves a greater purpose. A purpose that benefits Arcadia.
Oh, so it's okay for you, but not for the average citizen who just wants food to eat and a roof over their heads.
The average subject's actions must serve the Protectorate as a whole. It is how our society thrives. A purveyor of vapid individualism, such as yourself, would never understand.
Right. And for a subject to serve the Protectorate, they must first survive. A means to an end, right?
Attention, Commander. There may be valuable parts at this location that can improve this unit's functionality. Performing a thorough search of the Automech factory is advised, should you wish to maximize your Valerie unit's combat effectiveness. Building factory schematics. It is likely the desired parts are being stored somewhere on the ground floor.
Those fools! Protectorate subjects should know better than to attack a Protectorate arbiter. I had no choice but to judge them as traitors to the Protectorate. Why would they simply open fire? Why wouldn't they attempt to conversate? Then they should have reported me to their superiors rather than attempting to exact justice themselves. I shall continue to answer slights of this nature through violence, but hopefully I shall not need to do this more than a few times.
Not seeing a shot!
questioned, never doubted, their zeal never lagged. Questions are an addiction. It's the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times.
The sovereign provides and the system abides.
Once over. Let the paradigm worry about tomorrow. Right. Perfection is perfect. Ironclad. Never questioned, never doubted, zeal never lagged. Questions are an addiction. Thinking made anybody happy. Prudence dictates we rout all disruptive influences.
All it took was some light instruction and a restorative cocktail to abrade my imperfections. question, don't doubt. Let your betters think for you.
Attention subjects. A security breach has been detected. A full laboratory lockdown is now in effect. Repeat, this is a full laboratory lockdown. Stay calm, remain vigilant, and obey security personnel. And always trust that the Sovereign protects.
Oh, come now, Commander. Had humans been designed to fly, the architect would have granted us terror ray wings.
Attention, subjects. The laboratory lockdown has been lifted, and your faith in the Sovereign has been reaffirmed. You may resume normal activities.
Perfect society demands perfect thoughts. Imperfection is impossible when the mind is a thing of symmetry. Prudence dictates, eye your neighbors carefully.
You know, there might be a goodie or two for Val in there.
Paradigm we serve, supplies people deserve. Rightly so.
Sweeping the area. Focusing sensors. Boldly strive terminating perambulation.
Gloria, Arcadia, never to be outshone. Our colony, Arcadia, our home.
Looking a little woozy there, Commander. Don't like the way you're glaring at me, Rao. You got a problem?
Earlier, I noted my sapling to be wilting the barest amount. Your last speech regarding it was unkind, suspicious.
Sure, I'm glad you think I got the power to render a plant sickly with a whispered word. But it ain't suspicious. The dry ship air is getting to it. You know, giving it a few minutes with my humidifier could do it some good. But hell, don't take my word for it.
I knew that. I was merely testing your understanding of botany. Though I would never ask for your help, perhaps I could make an exception this once. For my plant.
Exactly. For your plant. Ain't a favor for you, all right?
Central Control is open to no visitors. Turn around. Best turn around. Central Control isn't... Wait. Orbiter Rao? What are you doing here? I've heard a great deal regarding your exploits within the Protectorate. And it is all that prevents me from summoning the Guard. I have strict orders to arrest you on sight.
I've no desire to slay you, but if you seek to prevent me from pursuing my duties, I will have no other choice.
Arbiter Rao did not report to the Consul's summons. Consequently, he is wanted for questioning. It is only our difference in rank that stays my hand from attempting arrest. Very well. I shall not sound the alarm. But you are still not permitted to enter this facility either through this entry or any side route. I shall be watching.
Commander, let us speak privately on our next course of action. I did not care for that exchange at all. The idea that the Consul would stymie me individually is rather disturbing. Regardless, we do have alternate means of ingress. I seem to recall a number of creatures bypassing the left fence through some upper path we were never able to find. There's also the prisoner entrance on the right. If you're sufficiently dexterous, you may be able to bypass the safeguards to get us in.
And a restorative cocktail to abrade my imperfections.
Trouble ahead.
Aborting search!
Smells like paint and agitated dust. Renovations, I surmise.
The sovereign provides, the system abides.
Hostile nod. I believe what we need is on that terminal. I'll see if I can find my way in. The terminal's locked, which is no surprise. See if you can find some method to bypass its passcode. Did you hear that? I think something may have unlocked. I think, Vic, you must finish reading through that terminal. The elevator's been summoned from below. Someone's coming up!
Consul Thoreau, I'm sure you're surprised to be receiving this message, and thus I can assume you already know my intent. Even considering aligning myself against the Sovereign is like sticking my hand in boiling oil. My dead charges spur me forward. 10 scores of Arcadia's finest, at least 10 scores, died in defense of Golden Ridge. And does the region lie in our control? No. We fled like sprats, all at Varric's behest. I shall lower myself to work with you, Consul. I will help you uphold your plan to... Hold... What in blazes? How long have you been standing there? What did you hear?
I cannot believe what I heard. I cannot. Actually, it wasn't. Perhaps at first, until I discerned her true intentions. My mentor hated the consul and was deeply devoted to the sovereign. She'd never speak thus, unless she was trying to lure the consul into a trap.
Rao, you really ought to have a sit-down. Were this anyone except your mentor, you'd see this for what it is.
What I'm proposing is eminently plausible. It may be beyond you to see her machinations, but it's obvious to me that this was merely an intricate play. It's all that makes sense. It's not obvious to me. You didn't know her. Wait, do you hear that?
Arbiter Rao, I finally got you. Submit quietly to the Protectorate's justice for your manifold transgressions.
Are you insane? Who are you? And on whose authority do you claim to judge me?
My name is Junior Arbiter Mayhall, and I operate on Arbiter Mandate, as you did once. Now, no questions. This is already going to be difficult enough.
It's logical. The Sentinels have all but taken over central control. It stands to reason the few Arbiters still trained here would only be Sentinels in armored regalia.
I cannot deny that central control has changed, but... What am I saying? I need not defend myself from the likes of you.
Enough. This has been an unpleasant day and my patience is gone. Your accusations are baseless, and accosting a higher-ranked arbiter is grounds for arbitration.
They're far from baseless. You stand accused of abandoning your post, of infiltrating Protectorate facilities with opaque aims, and of hampering the Protectorate war effort. There's no discussion to be had with criminals. I needed to see firsthand that Arbiter Rao had abandoned his station. He has, and must meet my judgment.
These accusations of yours are slander. If you believe false bravado shall save you from my wrath, you're sorely mistaken. At Oculus, and again at the Vox, you showed me that the law may be interpreted. Clemency can be granted where before it would be unthinkable. Here my sense of duty clamors to be answered. But as much as it surprises me to admit it, I think you're correct. To this recruit, I've diverged from the path of righteousness. Slaying her for sincerely trying to do what is right would be a farce of justice. I would not, but I know the reality of swaying an arbiter from their chosen path. It's likely this situation may devolve into violence regardless.
What is this insanity? I would never imagine an arbiter balking from their chosen course. I had hoped Arbiter Rao would come to his senses, but obviously to no avail. I may not wish to judge him. I may not understand what has come over him. It is of no consequence. His crimes against the Protectorate are all that matters.
He was simply doing his duty, just as you or I must every day. Killing him would have been wrong, even though attempting to arrest me was a criminal act.
That's even worse than I thought. You chose not to do your duty, and expect telling me so would soften my decision to judge you?
The Supreme Arbiter taught me to follow my own sense of justice, and I have. Use your mind. Think about what I did, what you intend to do. Is this moral? Is this right?
What of it? Someone has to stop him.
Ironic. You came here to judge me for much the same reason I have, as you so claim, deserted. I chose to investigate the Supreme Arbiter's death on my own. You chose to investigate my departure on your own. You seek to judge me for the very crime you are guilty of.
But that's impossible. I refuse to believe we both could be guilty if we were simply following what we were taught.
We don't know that for certain, but to an onlooker, without our knowledge, it could seem that way. And such presumed traitorousness would be very confusing.
Even the Supreme Arbiter has struggled with this? That doesn't seem possible. But I suppose there's no way to ask her now. I shall trust your words. Consider my hand stayed. I can see that judging Tristan would only rob the Protectorate of another of its servants. It seems I must reflect on this matter.
It would appear we're in agreement. Neither of us shall raise a hand against the other. I'm pleased.
Yeah, I bet he is. Just remind him that abstaining from violence ain't the same as chocolates and flowers.
So, what course of action do we take now?
It's important for an arbiter to use their forebrain. Next time you encounter something as strange as a loyal arbiter diverging from the path of righteousness, investigate. You may find more questions than answers. But deciphering them and interpreting justice as best we can is how we might serve Arcadia.
Uphold justice in my way. I'll attempt to remember that, Arbiter Rao. Thank you.
Glory to the Protectorate, Junior Arbiter. Make me proud. I'm pleased we were able to resolve that altercation peaceably. Robbing Arcadia of an enthusiastic recruit would have given me little joy.
Huh. You beginning to wean yourself off of eating the shoe polish? This is a good turn, Rao.
You know, I'd even venture to say she reminded me just a little of myself as a lad. I think that's uncalled for, Commander. Find me a well-adjusted youth, and I'll show you someone who just hasn't hit their awkward stage as of yet. All this excitement did not make me forget the confession on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I have to bring it to Virgil. Together, we can discover exactly what transpired. Have you lived all your life within the Protectorate? No. What do you know about what makes an Arbiter? I refuse to question the Supreme Arbiter, just as I refuse to cast every belief I hold dear into the mud. Push me no more. Virgil will know what to make of this. Together we'll figure out what to do. I'll message him when we return to the ship. Hopefully he shall respond. Quickly.
This unit is now at maximum efficiency. The overall likelihood of the team's total annihilation have been greatly reduced. Acknowledged. Adding not being dead to the commander's list of favorite activities. The Earth Directorate thanks you for your service in upgrading your Valerie unit. Reimbursement for parts and labor is not available at this time. Did you know? The average Valerie unit remains in service for 5 to 10 years. Agent Abara, however, has extended this unit's functionality beyond this range. This unit is programmed to avoid commentary on age unless directly related to a health condition. It is always a pleasure to speak with you, Commander.
Let's try this again, Rao. Auntie is bringing the free market to Arcadia. The free market is what allows anyone to choose their path in life. The free market is good.
Free market? Ah, preposterous. If it were free, anyone could take what they wished at any time.
It ain't free like that. It's free in the sense that it's been liberated from outside control. Like the Earth Directorate, or your sovereign. Folk can buy what they want, when they want.
What if someone needs something they cannot pay for?
Then they are free to take on work until they can pay for it. Look, in our society, we ain't limited by ration cards or clearance levels. Only by our industriousness. Inspiring, right?
Yes. The idea of the multitudes needing to slave for basic necessities is truly inspiring. Feelings of revulsion. Once we find Virgil, he and I shall unravel what occurred with the Supreme Arbiter. Together, we shall have no trouble, I'm sure. Commander, I have news. I finally heard back from Virgil. His message was suitably vague. I suspect he fears the Consul's eyes scanning his message, but I believe it to refer to the Arbiter training facility located on Paradise Island. Parts of the location can only be accessed by Arbiters. He likely did so to avoid the Consul's spies. There's a certain hominess to it, inasmuch as we have any particular home. Bringing our findings to Virgil will hopefully allow us to deduce something from all that we found. I only hope it dispels some of the muddiness we've encountered so far. Further complications would be most disagreeable. silent as a tomb. I hope we aren't too late. Virgil's not about. These like to be in the training grounds depths. There's a lift that will take us lower, located behind the door next to those stairs.
Arbiter Nebs, the words are a song to my ears. This, no doubt, is the opportunity I have long awaited. These hapless recruits arrived just before the invasion. No sooner had they set down their bags than their instructors were called to the war front. I read the fear, the uncertainty in their faces. And I knew, as this outpost's primary practice target replacement technician, I alone could teach them. They see me as their leader, their arbiter. I will not fail. Should the invasion breach our defenses, I will stand proudly at the vanguard, shoot to kill, and lead them to victory.
Tristan! It's a relief to see a friendly face. Do come up.
Virgil! Ah, thank the architect I found you intact. We visited the Supreme Arbiter's office in Central Control and found something impossible.
Possible? Why is it impossible? So that you may claim ignorance as to the truth of what you've uncovered? Fine. If you're still so thick-skulled, Tristan, then I can see I've no choice but to confess. Hold. Do you hear movement?
Attention, Arbiter Virgil Montag. Under the jurisdiction of the Council, we stand to bring you low. Do not resist.
Damnation! I knew the Sentinels were looking for me, but I did not expect they would come to this place. We have no choice but to fight. I can operate our turrets from this location, but you must engage the Sentinels head-on to prevent our being overwhelmed. Go now!
Arbiter Montag, lay down your arms. Surrender and die.
The Sovereign provides. The system provides.
What?
Prosecuting!
My claws are always crabby. Mess with me, you get the crown.
Those fools were but an expeditionary force. I've no doubt the bulk of their number remains on the surface. I shall take an alternate path to prepare a surprise for our would-be assailants. Then I shall flank them as you engage them.
Hold. You were beginning to say something before we were ambushed. I would care to hear it.
We cannot have this conversation until we are safe. Engage those on the surface and I shall join you. Go now.
Imperfections.
My aftermarket parts are crushed.
I am loath to admit I require medical assistance.
Swift death. Arbiters.
You have my thanks and my hammer. Virgil, enough! Our being at odds with the Consul is one thing, but that was a small army! What have you done?
You already know whether you're willing to admit it or not. Do you sincerely have a need for me to spell it out before you'll face the truth? Very well then. Tristan, you stand before the murderer of the Supreme Arbiter.
I don't believe this. The Consul must have captured you and sent you to mental refreshment. It's the only...
Open your eyes, Rao. Those Sentinels were here with due cause. The elimination of a murderer. The Supreme Arbiter was planning to send a message in her final moments, pledging allegiance to the Consul. Who do you think bore witness to those final moments? Had I not been so overcome with emotion, I would have been thorough enough to delete that. It matters no longer.
No. You lied to me?
I had to. I knew that if you learned what had transpired, why I did what I did, it would destroy you.
Would it? Or were you just trying to save yourself from my wrath?
With the demands this war has made on us all, I'd not seen our mentor for some time. My visit was meant to be a surprise. Unfortunately, it was. I overheard her decision to align herself with the Consul before she realized I was there. this admission, I had no choice but to act.
But there was a choice. Why didn't you come to me? Together we could have come up with something. Some other course of action.
Because I didn't want you to know. I never wanted you to learn the truth because I feared you'd lose your faith. No. Sentinel Peralt's remarks were the first I'd heard of any secret room. I feared what you might learn there, so I scrambled to find an agent who might locate the room before you. I only had one contact who I knew may be able to do the job. Obviously, he did not succeed. I was pleased to learn that my decision did not result in his death, at the very least. That is news to me. A junior arbiter judging Tristan. I can't imagine you let that stand.
Killing one of Arcadia's future arbiters over a singular breach of rank would have been most tragic. But this is not the matter we're here to discuss.
How dare you! I would have rather done anything else. But the explicit reason that I had to act was out of my loyalty. The Supreme Arbiter did more than mentor us. She all but raised us as her own. There is not a step we took that she did not watch. A fact we know that she did not teach. And I killed her. As a traitor. Damn you. Damn you 1,000 times. How can I not bear remorse for the slaying of one I considered my own kin? No matter what I do, I find myself reliving that moment whenever I close my eyes. Her sin was unforgivable to the Protectorate, but The Supreme Arbiter taught me that the Protectorate is the only family any of us would ever need. Yet, I have found little comfort within it since her passing.
I cannot believe what I am hearing. You know that I have to judge you. There's no other choice available to me. You're right. You're right. I can't let emotion get the better of me. This is not the first time we've encountered the paradoxical nature of Protectorate law. Each time we did, you convinced me to stay my hand, and I do not regret those I spared. Prior conclusions inform my present feelings. I theoretically understand what Virgil did, for there was no proper decision he could make. But I cannot view this objectively. Virgil killed our mentor. It's madness. I cannot simply let that stand. Can I? I don't know. It's just this sense of the wrongness of it. Oh, by the Architect and Arbiter, frozen by feelings. What's happening to me? But how can I know that my morals are not skewed? What if I'm faltering on the basis of sentiment, trying to spare a friend? Because he is a friend. The law is clear on this. It is explicitly illegal for an inferior to execute their superior. The issue must be accelerated to a higher authority. But is addressing traitorism not the utmost priority of any arbiter? Is not the betrayal of everything we stand for more significant than a breach of protocol? The Supreme Arbiter taught us that conscience has no bearing in our role. But I suppose she has given me much reason to question her teachings. I cannot bring myself to execute my sworn brother. I never expected to have my loyalties tested such as this. But at the very least, I can promise not to turn on you. I know not what to make of the Supreme Arbiter's betrayal. I'll have to ruminate on it for some time. But that aside, I forgive you, Virgil. You are spared.
Good on you, Rao. Ain't healthy to let the hammer solve all your problems.
Would that I could forgive myself. I shall have to live with what I have done in the name of the Protectorate. Fiction is madness. But perhaps I'll have no choice with the Consul after me. I must make myself scarce while I decide what to do next.
Virgil, you should take comfort in doing what was right. The Supreme Arbiter was a traitor. I believe her execution was just. And you should as well.
Just in the eyes of the Protectorate. But we've forever lost our mentor, our friend. And, I might add, if the Protectorate had its way, you or I would presently lie dead as well. When I see the morality in a system that demands brothers, guardians, friends kill one another in its name.
Stop! This is already near too much to accept. I refuse to be browbeaten on top of everything else. Allow me to reach my own conclusions.
1,000 words of thanks for meeting me here, Tristan. I know not what the future holds for us, but for the time being I must make myself scarce. Though, before I go, a parting gift. May Tristan make use of it better than I.
Go with the Sovereign's blessing, brother. And be careful. If you survive today only to be brought low by an agent of the Consul at a later point, I shall be most annoyed. Commander, this has all been draining. I need time to process what we've learned today. What I've done. Later, I hope we might discuss it. Commander, I've had some time to process what transpired with Virgil. Despite the manner of what Virgil has done, I cannot help but be glad I did not need to slay him. I can only hope he does not run afoul of further sentinels. I still have much doubt about my path, but I don't believe Protectorate law is as ironclad as I once thought. Having good intentions does not spare you. Doing what you think is right does not spare you. This cannot be justice. Yet what can I do? More than 100 years of Protectorate society cannot be changed by a lone body. Can it? But how? I see. I must follow my own path, my own sense of right and wrong. I can only hope it has been cultivated properly. I shall remain with the Protectorate, interpreting its laws through a moral instead of a punitive lens. Innocent until proven guilty is a novel concept, but it is worth a try. Words are not worth the air propelling them. Let me make good on them first. Then you may be impressed. When we began traveling together, I was not sure what to make of you. But your input throughout our time together has been invaluable. I deeply appreciate your hand in this investigation, Commander, and in entertaining my incertitude. Let us move forth to free Arcadia from injustice.